I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back?
Congratulations, young man, on a great win. My question to you is: the WBO orders you to fight Crawford next, or you'll be stripped. Under any circumstances, will you vacate the WBO belt to fight Errol Spence?
Whatever they give me, Errol Spence is a great opportunity. I think it's a match made in heaven. But Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
What's going on, guys? It's Backchat TV and I'm back with another video. This time we're talking about the post-fight press conference of Sebastian Fedora, where he specifically said, when asked, he was asked basically, as you heard in the clip I played at the beginning, would you vacate the WBO title to fight Errol Spence? And he said he would love to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence is considered one of the best fighters and was considered the best fighter until he lost to Terence Crawford. But if he was given the choice, he would fight Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. This is what he said out of his own mouth. So we know Sebastian Fedora allegedly would like to fight Terence Crawford as a preference. Now, will the fight happen? Are they going to honour what Fedora wants to do? Probably not. Probably not, because there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of ducking going on, and there's a lot of promoters who are pretending to look after their fighters' interests when really they're looking after their own interests. So that's basically what will happen. His promoter was speaking. They also asked the promoter if they would give Tim Tszyu a rematch. And he said, well, verbally we have a rematch, which means, they had told his team that they would give him a rematch. But then he goes on to say, basically, I have to look after the finances of my fighter. And there are some big fights out there. Tim Tszyu might have to wait for a few fights, which means no. It's quite funny the way he just broke his word. But this is what promoters are like, Said he would give Tim Tszyu a shot. Tim Tszyu arguably won that fight. It was so close. It seems so obvious that they should have a rematch. But the promoter says no. And it also seems just as obvious that Terence Crawford should get the fight with Fedora. But the promoter would rather make a matchup with Errol Spence, a man who was convincingly beaten by Terence Crawford. But because he has to manage risk versus reward. It makes perfect sense. Why go for a tougher fight in Terence Crawford when you could get the same reward fighting Errol Spence, a man with a great history, a great name, a great resume, a man who probably still has more fans than Terence Crawford, even though Terence Crawford beat him. It just makes more sense. Just makes more sense from a promoter perspective that they want to manage risk versus reward. And if you look at even the PBC, Leonard Ellaby was actually in an interview and they asked him the same questions about Terence Crawford. Is he going to get a shot at, the winner of Fedora versus Tim Tszyu? This is before they fought, obviously. And Leonard Ellaby actually said Errol Spence's family. So, of course, Errol Spence is going to get the shot. Which means, it doesn't matter what the WBO say. And this is the kind of corruption and this is the kind of thing people are talking about. This is why some people turn against boxing and prefer different sports. Corruption, the best not fighting the best. And I wouldn't say it's sad to see, because I still think Errol Spence is a great fighter, but I just personally, I would be embarrassed if I got beaten convincingly. And then because of my favour that I have with certain people, promoters, and even if that did happen, I'd feel embarrassed. I definitely wouldn't have the confidence in front of thousands of people to get in the ring like Errol Spence did. Talking about, yeah, I'm the big fish or whatever he said. Now you're in the big time or something like that. I would be embarrassed to come and show my face knowing that Terence Crawford is the person who should be getting the shot. I know some people could say, well, it's business, but I would just feel embarrassed personally. If I was Errol Spence, it shows kind of a lack of integrity, I think. You know, it could just be me. I mean, it's a business, people trying to get the best fights, but to get in the ring like you're some unbeaten champion, like you deserve to fight the winner, when you know there's another man who has been waiting. First, he was waiting to fight you, Errol Spence, and Errol Spence was missing in action. He had all sorts of injuries at the time when Terence Crawford wanted the fight. And now that time has elapsed where that fight's not going to happen right now. Errol Spence springs up from nowhere, ready to fight. It's quite funny, really. I don't know. I don't like it. I think if Errol Spence just stayed quiet, he didn't get in the ring, he just said, I'll fight anyone. Yeah, I want the fight. But he didn't publicly get in the ring and kind of talk as if he was always going to be the mandatory for him. I think that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I don't know if anyone out there knows what I mean. Terence Crawford should have this shot. He's been ducked for so long now, since the Errol Spence fight. He should have fought already. Canelo didn't want the fight because he said he's too small. Fair enough. Canelo's got his own business going on. He doesn't have to take the fight. He had a point when he said that it would be a lose-lose for him. I understand that. Jamal Charlo's gone missing. Errol Spence was full of injuries. So Terence Crawford was trying to get a good fight. And this opportunity came up. They made him mandatory for this belt. Fundora beat Tim Tszyu. So it should be Fundora versus Terence Crawford. I don't see what's so complicated about that. How does Errol Spence insert himself into this situation? I just don't get it. Someone let me know. Do you think it's fair that Errol Spence should get this shot? And if Errol Spence was to beat Fundora and become the champion at 154 pounds in his first fight, and then suddenly, who gets the shot? Who's the mandatory for Errol Spence 154 pound title? Terence Crawford or Fundora? Would Fundora get a rematch? Let's say Fundora gets a rematch. How long does Terence Crawford have to wait? You know, this is why people don't like boxing, because of things like this. So, you know, I'm totally against it. I think the best should fight the best. If you win, you should be priority. You should have to work your way up. If you lose, I don't think there should be any exceptions. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Errol Spence kind of came off looking a bit funny doing this? I don't think personally he's done himself any favours. And it might even turn out, if he gets beaten, it's going to backfire quite badly. So, you know, I'm not wishing him to get beaten if he does get the fight. But I'm just saying karma is not very forgiving if you do the wrong things. So, you know, I don't really like this. Let me know what you think. I'm on to the next one.
I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back?